Welcome to this brand new episode of the Titan Upcast. I am your host, Joshua Mickle, and just the Titan Upcast show. Still trying to get used to that. This is the second episode of this brand new show, an offshoot of our Casted at the Keen show that we do on our channel, and we'll start that back up shortly with new movies coming up. But another day comes another Titans loss, and well, surprise, surprise. Wouldn't you guess it? The Titans lose today. Again, it's not surprising that we lost. It's how we lose that is just infuriating. Now, just to give you a one-on-one prospect of how the season was supposed to go. The season this year was supposed to go as follows. Yes, you were the worst team last year. You had the first overall pick, and you pick a quarterback with it. You hope he's the guy. Next thing you do, you set your quarterback up for success as much as you can. To heck with the defense. If they give up like today, 30-some-odd points today, so be it. So be it. There's nothing you can do about that when they're giving up a whole bunch of points for you. But you want to see your offense do well in the game for you. You want to see them do well. And so, with that being said, when your team in a spot you're expecting them to do competent, if not better than what they did last year, and they're not, then we got to start asking the questions that need to be asking. And so as I adjust the score here, and now I'll bring up our first comment because we'll start positives today. We'll start positives today. Cam Ward in this offense, you saw what this offense can look like when it is uncorked, when it's finally, like when the right screws are screwed on just right. You saw what this offense looked like when it was unlocked. Cam Ward looking like Patrick Mahomes with the throws when he had the opportunity to. Throwing across the body. He got away with it in college. And there's only a few select quarterbacks in the NFL that can get away with it. And they are the elite ones. The Mahomes, the Lamars, the Allens of the world can get away with those type of throws. Cam Ward showed that type of throw. And if we have yet another one of those quarterbacks in the AFC, this is going to be one heck of a juggernaut, say 3-4 years from now. Even with Patrick Mahomes entering over 10 years in the NFL, which, again, makes you feel old when you think about it. When he's approaching 10 years and he's over 30 years old right now, I believe. It's insane. This offense looks good. Calvin Ridley did better than last week technically. He still had some hair-pulling, excruciating drops that he is supposed to catch but is not. And it just leaves you like, what? It's like, you are the vet, and you are a elected captain. Why are you dropping the most minute balls that are in your hands? Same with Chigagonkwo a few times. Just dropped balls. And for Chig, Calvin Ridley is probably going to be with us next year. But Chig, this is his last year. Again, it's this. I have said this on the YouTube channel for years and years and years. Chigagonkwo is the disappearing act of the Tennessee Titans. It will not be showing his face until sometime in mid-November, as he always does. He is the disappearing act at starting tight end. The sooner you get Gunnar Helm there, the better, because he is more worthy of trying to make plays and catches for Cam Ward than Chig right now, because you know you're not going to keep at this point, Chig. I know it's just 2 games, but we've seen this in the better part of him being with us for 4 years. He has not shown one sliver of why you should be starting him for this first portion of the season. For 3 years in a row, and now 4th year in a row so far, he is a ghost. He is not impactful in terms of catches or touchdowns or whatever through the first half of the season. Get him out of there and put him as tight end 2 and get Gunnar Helm in there as tight end 1. Now for the receivers, outside of Calvin Ridley. Elic Ayomanor and Cam Ward connection is going to be beautiful to watch for years to come. This is paying off dividends big time. The one-handed catch on the sidelines put perfectly for only Elic to catch. And then the across-the-body catch where Elic Ayomanor got away from the defender and said, "Hey, I got you, brother. I got you. Throw it up and now catch it." I caught it. Both of ours first touchdown catch and pass. And Cam Ward, like when they finally got the monkey off their back of like, can this team score a touchdown at all this year? When that finally got off his back, you saw Cam Ward's like, yeah, about time. Let's get into this game now. The defense, this defense really showed up again in the first half. They really did. They held the Rams to 10 points. And we will get to this later on in the show, is that this defense set this off. Again, this offense was set up with yet another opportunity by the defense. They give you a gift. Like, answer prayer that we actually score a touchdown in spectacular fashion with Cam Ward and Elic Ayomanor and the most, like, best way we could dream of for them to have this connection now in the regular season now going forward. In terms of everything else, though, coaching cost this team yet again. This and something that needs to be discussed later on the show. The other wide receiver we will address right now. Chimram DK. He is going to be with us for years to come as well. That speed, the end arounds you can do with them, the crossing routes, and the return game. We have a returner. Thank the Lord we have a returner that doesn't screw the pooch. Jaquan Jackson. I'm forgetting a few off the top of my head. Kyle Phillips, another one. False hope in him. So many returners we have tried to rely on in years and have just been gut punched. And it's like, nope, try again next year. Nope, try again next year. Adoree Jackson, nope, try again in a round. Try again. We finally seem to nail one now 2 games in a row because Kyle Phillips fooled us with the first game versus the Giants. He fooled us. This is now 2 games in a row. We see the consistency with DK. Dyke, as I like to call him. That's how it's spelled, but it's pronounced DK. So it's, 2 games in a row with DK in the return game. Should have had a touchdown return, and we will get, and that's actually the next topic of this show with penalties. We will get to it. And also, another positive I want to say right now. Joey Sly, the 10 years younger than Nick Folk, has a boot for a foot, and he is perfect on the ear. He's perfect on the ear. That's just what we want to see for our kickers. Nick Folk was accurate as well. He missed, I think, a grand total of like 2 or 3 kicks in his time in Tennessee for 2 years or so, but could not kick it for over 50 yards for the life of him. He just didn't have the leg when he was with us, in terms of power. Joey Sly does, and now he's accurate. And I credit our special teams coach that we lured away from the Cowboys, Coach Bones. So he sees something in Joey Sly, and I love it. I love that we finally have our kicker. Now, these next 2 topics are going to be doozy, but I'm ready for it. We're going to talk about these dumb, stupid penalties, and I just realized as I do this, the score is incorrect. I'm just going to quickly adjust that. And there we go. Penalties. Dumb. Hair-pulling penalties in this game. The simplest things from offsides The simplest thing is from this is something. This is something that needs to be. This is an unavoidable penalty that should never have occurred at home. False start after false start after false start. You're at home. You are not at Mile High in enemy territory. False start is the one penalty in sports that you should not be able to make at home. Unless you are that right tackle from Kansas City that just flat out sucks. Outside of that particular one player, there is no excuse for you to have false start after false start penalties at home on offense if you're an O lineman. Now, I want to get this name right. The Titans' right guard. I want to get the name right because it alleviates me something. Yeah, Kevin Zeitler, the All-Pro from Detroit, Mr. Iron Man from Detroit, Mr. Discipline from Detroit. He's no different than Dylan Radins. He's no different than Aaron Brewer. In terms of discipline, golly, every time he gets a holding or a false start, and they say, number 70, I'm left wondering, where's this all-pro guy that we were supposed to get from Detroit, supposedly? Where's that guy? He has not shown up. And and as I pulled up right here on ESPN, he apparently left the game with an elbow injury. So that's why he was out, not because of his. I mean, maybe they'll credit. Maybe that's the reason he got out of the game because of his penalties. But they're going to mark it down with an injury. Man. Daquan Jones with that offsides penalty. Give the Rams some slight bit of life in that drive. Our right tackle position continues to plague us for 3, not 1, not 2, 3 freaking years in a row. How much longer should we suffer as Titan fans to have the right side be a swinging door on our quarterbacks? Oh, like a Wild West, like the plunk. Hello, entering the bar with the swinging doors. How much longer should we suffer? I hope J.C. Latham comes back and redeems himself from a bad game that he had versus the Broncos. But until then, we are left to suffer, and it just agonizes me because, again, with Kevin Zeitler's like, you got an all-pro right guard coming in. He is an Iron Man, and he is disciplined. Got all 3 of those factors coming in. The only thing he doesn't have is age. And we signed like a 1 or 2 year deal with him. So he wasn't going to be with us long term anyway. But for the immediate, you're like, okay, that's one less offensive lineman for Bill Callahan to worry about. Oh, we got rid of Andre Dillard. Okay, we got rid of whoever our right tackle was. I forget his name because he's so irrelevant. We got rid of Duncan, and we got rid of Nicholas Petit-Frere is the name. We got rid of him. We got rid of the excuses. We got rid of the bad hombres. We got rid of the bad apples. For how much longer should Bill Callahan, in my opinion, be given such a long leash? He is supposedly the best offensive line coach in the NFL. How much longer should he be given a short leash? Because this right here, 2 years in a row, bad penalties, that's on the coach. 2 years of bad offensive line play, I put that on the coaching staff, in my opinion. That's my critique with Vrabel when he was here. We had all these injuries. We had all these bad people on defense. We had bad couple apples on the offensive line. We said, okay, we'll swap out the players and see if the result's still the same. What happened with our defense and the injuries that happened when we overhauled the roster? We still got injured like crazy for NFL records. Again. We still have bad offensive line play again. When you have the same, this is my critique of Vrabel, and I'm still going to keep it consistent with Callahan and his coaches. If you have the same result year after year with different players, the problem is not the players. The problem is the coach. The moment you have the same issues year after year, and the players are different, it's on coaching. It's on coaching. Bill Callahan, God forbid if Brian Callahan gets fired in the middle of the season, I do not want to see Bill Callahan as the interim head coach. I do not. And then we come down to this as I try to adjust the graphic one more time. And that's this. Main issue of the game was coaching. Brian Callahan, my pitchfork is ready. It's standing by to call for his firing. It's on standby. I said going into the year, I said all offseason, I've said on all the forums online, that Callahan is going to be our head coach for 2026. Barring that the offense is not the issue. That barring that the offense can put points on the board. That the offense can move drives. They can make plays consistently. They're disciplined on offense. The defense can give up, like today, 30 points a game. But if you score like 24 points or 30 points a game, 27 points a game, and you lose like 30-some points because your defense keeps giving up points, or your kicker, which isn't the case, but this was the scenario. If you're losing games because your defense is giving up points, or your kicker is missing kicks, it is what it is. It is what it is. As long as the offense can score points on the board. And now Callahan is in a rock and a hard place, in my opinion, right now. Last week, he decided to be aggressive when he was backed up against the goal line, and gave the Broncos life and scored a touchdown that game, which may have been the difference between winning and losing last week, probably. That happened. This week, not only are you gifted a Cam Ward, Patrick Mahomes type of moment thrown to Elic Ayomanor for a touchdown, which ignited every single Titans fans on the face of this planet. That touchdown ignited the entire fan base in a moment to say, Cam Ward is our quarterback. We got him. We finally got that figured out. He's our guy. We got that figured out. In the same breath, we are offered that moment. One or two plays later, Cody Barton, great grab by Mike Barganzi in our GM in the offseason, intercepts the ball. And I want to just get this right, where I want to get the yardage right, just so I can be consistent with you people. And the Patriots scored 33 points. How did Vrabel score 33 points? That's going to be some worth looking later. Where's my game? Here it is. As I mute. And then all drives as I come to the second quarter. You're at the Rams' 46-yard line. Cody Barton intercepted the ball. You're in enemy territory. You're in scoring position for a quick touchdown pass. Based on how Cam Ward and company have been moving the ball the drive before, what does Callahan do with 30 seconds left? You're in plus territory. You had 2 timeouts. 6 plays that drive. A run play, timeout. Another run play. Timeout. Field goal. What are we doing here? You are the worst team in the NFL. You are given a gift from God with that interception from Cody Barton. And what do? Hand the ball off. Oh, kick a field goal. Yay! We go into the lead with 13 points. We have the lead. Yay! I don't know who said it, if it was my dad on my text thread or someone in the fan forum. Callahan does not have a put the foot on the throat mentality. The dude has no balls, in my opinion, right now. Zero. Callahan, in his second half adjustments this year so far, is horrible. Horrible adjustments at the second half. 13 points, first half. Okay. And you're leading the Rams. Good. Second half, 6 points. And by the way, those last 3 points, total BS. Total bullcrap. You are down multiple touchdowns. You are down 2+ touchdowns. Why are you kicking a field goal at the end of the game? What is that going to do for you? Why? Give that down to Cam Ward so he can air it out, so he can give you one more touchdown and a loss. So instead of losing 33-19, you're losing a respectable 33-23. You lost by 10 points. You scored more than the teens of points. And you're finally in that realm of, okay, we can score 23, 24 points. Now our defense should be able to hold off the offense of the opposing team to somewhere around 23 to 20 points a game. You're in that possibility realm when you score 23, 24 points a game. In a lot of our games over the years, we could have won had we scored at least 23 to 24 points. At least. That last field goal of the game only helps Joey Sly's kicking percentage. It was at 100% already. It's still going to be 100%. He's going to get 3 more points. Okay, 3 more points. What does that do for the scoreboard? You know you're going to lose. Why didn't you give the ball to Cam Ward one more time? This offense today, especially in the second half, and it doesn't help that the offensive line is still a pile of turd on the right side. It doesn't help at all. But why in the world does it feel like that this offense has a lid on our rookies? Why? It feels like they were talking about L'Jarius Sneed is going to be on a snap. L'Jarius Sneed is going to have snap. By the way, L'Jarius Sneed has good moments and he has bad moments, okay? He's going to, especially against Devontae Adams, he's going to have that. And he play a relatively good game besides the one touchdown he gave up. So, a quick thing on Jerry Sneed there. Why does it feel like, by the way, why I mentioned Sneed. They were mentioning he was on a snap count last week, and he's on a snap count this week. By the way, he played the whole game today. So, Sneed shouldn't be an issue going forward in terms of snap counts and injuries because he was not injured unless we hear something in the middle of the week. Why does it feel like the NBA does it? The NBA is notorious with rookies when they get into the league and they don't play the minutes they're supposed to be playing. It's like, oh, you've hit 25 minutes, hit the bench. Oh, you've hit 30 minutes, hit the bench. Oh, you played more than 31 minutes, we got to get you back on the bench. Elic is making you plays. Where was Gunnar Helm? I got to look this up. What was Gunnar Helm's stats in this game? Receiving. 2 catches for 9 yards. And Chig Okonkwo got a whole bunch of targets. Give Gunnar Helm those opportunities now. This year should be the year of the youth movement. Embrace the youth movement, I say. I said that for Denver, and I said that for this game. And it needs to be the thing for the rest of the year. Embrace the youth movement. You are not a playoff team this year. You are nowhere close to one. It would have taken a miracle from God for us to be a playoff team this year. We are not even a mediocre team yet. Again, I'm glad we're not a mediocre team, or else we would have never gotten Cam Ward to begin with. Gunnar Helm, 2 catches for 9 yards. Give Gunnar Helm some more looks for crying out loud. Give some more pass catching opportunities to Chim DK. He was getting nothing but in rounds, and he only, right here, 2 catches for -1 receiving yards. By the way, I'm looking at this, and I'm realizing that all of those will come from the wide receiver screenplays. Death, taxes, and wide receiver screens never work in Tennessee. They never work. No matter who the coaches is, and no matter who the play caller is, no matter who the quarterback or receivers are, it doesn't work in Tennessee. It never has, and it never will in the immediate future. It won't happen. Ah, golly. Van Jefferson, 2 for 10, 2 catches for 10 yards. Finally got in there at the end of the game. Too late though. But yeah, coaching this game was just very, very bad. And jeez, I mean, you expect this team to lose. I expected this team to be in contention of a top 5, top 10 draft pick next year. I know that. I know my team's going to lose. It is how we are losing that is the most infuriating thing. If we are getting blown out from start to finish, okay, I can live with that. I expect that to happen because my team sucks. My team sucks. I know that. But you are such a tease when you say, we have the lead. Look how good we can be. And Callahan's going to lose his job if this offense continues to be lackluster, and he continues to be, he doesn't know when to be conservative, and he doesn't know when to be aggressive. He's backwards this year. He should have been conservative when he was backed up against his own goalpost last week versus the Broncos. And he should have been aggressive versus the Rams when they got the interception, when you are in plus territory. So, another loss for the Titans. What a surprise. I believe our next game on the docket is going to be the Indianapolis Colts. I just want to get that right, and I believe it is. Yeah, we host the Colts next week. And for the Colts, they're in a tight game right now versus the Broncos as I'm reading this right now in the second quarter. As win this game versus the Colts. I don't feel confident at all that we're going to win versus the Colts right now. I don't feel confident at all. Not after what we showed versus the Broncos and the coaching with today's game. I don't feel confident at all. It makes like the mind logic on this on the coaching tendencies of Brian Callahan. Again, at some point, we just gotta be like a particular someone in politics where it's like, that's fake news. That's fake news. You're wrong. That's fake news. When I am told, when we got Brian Callahan, because everyone knew Jim Harbaugh at the time of the coaching search that he was going to be going to the Chargers. He wasn't going to go to anyone else. We knew that, so he wasn't a reach for us. And Ben Johnson was staying another year in Detroit, so he wasn't on the search there. We were told when Brian Callahan got hired, he is the best coaching candidate on that market. Okay, the best, you say. Then we get his father, Bill Callahan, for free from the Browns to be our offensive line coach after years of bad offensive line coaching. Bill Callahan is one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL. The best. No. So far, no. Denard Wilson is such an aggressive defensive play caller. He is an up-and-coming defensive coordinator and could be a head coach. We pried him away from Seattle, who was in a war versus the Titans, to sign his services. Sean McDermott wanted Denard Wilson to be his defensive coordinator. The Ravens wanted Denard Wilson to be their defensive coordinator. And he chose, no, I want to go to Tennessee and take my coaching talents there. Folks said that was a steal for us to get him as a defensive coordinator. He hasn't delivered the goods as a defensive coordinator. We seem to have something in Coach Bones that we pried away from the Cowboys, which credit to Callahan that he fired his friend Colt Anderson, the special teams coach last year. Because if he didn't fire him before this offseason, I would have been marching up and down the streets of fire Callahan, because this is the same tendencies as Mike Vrabel. You won't fire your friends. We saw last year that Brian Callahan is capable of firing folks like that, and he did, which is one of several reasons I thought he was going to stick with us long term, beyond 2025. We signed the right guard from Detroit, who was a staunch piece supposedly on their offensive line, an all-pro, and a disciplined offensive lineman. Haven't seen it yet. At some point, how long do you listen to reporters and folks out there in the broad media sphere? I'm not talking about A to Z. I'm not talking about Titan Upload. I'm not talking about MJ from Sports Fan Entertainment to an extent. I'm not talking about the YouTubers like Tic Tac Titans with the Locked On Titans. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about like your NBC, your NFL Network, your ESPN type of reporters out there. For just when do you say to yourself, if they say, you got the best of this, do you say, I don't believe you? I don't believe you. It's now getting to that point where if we fire Callahan and we're searching for a head coach and someone says, hey, we got the best coaching candidate on the market, I'm going to be like, I believe when I see it. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Because I've been told this one too many times. Now, we supposedly got the best GM candidate this past offseason in Mike Borgonzi. Supposedly. So far with Cam Ward, Gunnar Helm, Jim DK, Elic Ayomanor. We'll see what that looks like for us. We'll see what Femi looks like on the edge. He was a no-show today compared to last week. We'll see what Mike Borgonzi's like in terms of the advertisement for him, and then turns out to be false bill of goods for us. And I'll say this to close out this show, is that should there be a coaching change? Again, my pitchfork, imaginary pitchfork, is right here on the wall on standby. I am not lifting it up yet. Because, I mean, like, the point being, like, it's on standby. But say I have to grab it this year. A lot of fans have probably grabbed it by now after today's coaching. I think it's too early. If it does happen and Callahan continues this trend and he's fired, whoever Chad Brinker and Mike Borgonzi pick as their next head coach, they go down that sword with him. They fall on the same sword with him. They fall on that same sword with the rest of the coaching staff that whoever that new head coach brings in. Because we cannot have this swinging door of that coach is in, this GM's in, that coach is out, that GM's out. Like, not at the same time. We had Mike Mularkey in, and a certain GM was in. We got rid of the GM, kept the head coach. And then we got rid of Mularkey. We kept the GM, got a new head coach. And then we got rid of the GM and J-Rob, kept Mike Vrabel the head coach, got a new GM. And then, I think I said this, we got rid of Vrabel, got a new head coach, we kept the GM. And Rob and Rand Carthon. We kept the coach after 1 year, but got rid of the GM and got a new one. If Callahan's fired and this next wave of head coach and his crew don't produce the goods, Amy Adams Strunk, our owner, needs to dish out the punishment equally. And then if all else fails with the coaching on that front, you got to lay out everybody equally. Get rid of the assistant GM and Chad Brinker. Get rid of the GM and Mike Borgonzi. Get rid of the head coach, whoever they picked. Get rid of everybody on the executive level. You got to start fresh with a reboot. So we'll see if this current iteration of a reboot, like a rebuilding Titans, can fly with Callahan. But in terms of these first two games, it is not looking good for him. It's not. And as I draw my level-headedness to a close here, I just want to say, just hunker down for that rebuild. You just got to keep hunkering it down and look for the sliver of signs that can work and deliver for you. Because he's shown that when he has a good pocket and his receivers actually don't drop the balls, he's special. We got our quarterback. There's nothing to worry about there. It's just the little details that we got to worry about with penalties and coaching. We get those two solved, we're gonna be a respectable team. Will we win games if we get those two solved? We'll see what happens with this year, but in terms of future years, probably. And with that being said, my name is Joshua Mickle, and as always, keep kicking it to the king.